Right.
So I'm having a chat with Glen Matlock. How are you?
Not so bad, Jim. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad.
Bit nippy here today in London, but there you go.
Yeah, it is a little chilly, but things that can keep us a little bit more entertained is you've got a new single on the way called Head on a Stick. What can people expect to hear when they get a chance to take a listen?
Well, I've been told that it might be a bit raucous for daytime radio play, so I'll take that as a good thing for a start. I think it's a good toe-tapping tune, topped with a lyric about the parlous state of affairs that we're in at the moment, and I think that for some people, not kind of physically, but maybe metaphorically, should be held to account, and that's what I'd like to see, their metaphorical heads on metaphorical sticks. So,
yes.
There you go. It does what it says on the tin, really, but I'm quite pleased with it. It's got some great guitar playing. It's probably got my first ever, after all these years, guitar solo. I played the guitar on this one, and I'm quite chuffed with it, really. So,
Good. And are you chuffed?
It's always hard to explain the music you come out with. You do it, and then you throw it open to the cosmos, and it's people's take on it. But I like it. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, good, and that's the main thing. And are we expecting a raucous full album? Is that what we can expect from the record when it comes out in April?
Yes, it's I've got a whole album's worth of stuff. I mean, they're not oranges aren't the only fruit, so there's quite a few different sort of tempos and styles, and maybe there's even a doo-wop ballad on it actually. Yeah, I mean, I like doing an album that's like where your head's at that particular, I was going to say point in time, I heard that phrase. When you actually made the record, all the songs kind of hang together. My last album had a bit of a Good to Go, had a slight bit of rockabilly flavour because the drummer on it was Slim Jim Phantom from the Stray Cats, and I deliberately made it in America with him and L Slick, so it had a bit of an Americana kind of vibe to it. This one's maybe me back to my more rocky stuff, but there's some interesting stuff on it. Even did a cover of a K.D. Lang song because I like to throw a curveball in there. So that, I think it's interesting, and hopefully it's not quite what people expect from me.
Yeah. Good. And the rocky route that you've gone down for this release, was it the plan to do that, or is it simply just how it turned out?
Well, I've worked with different producers and mates and engineers and stuff over the years, and you have all these great plans, and then you start playing, and it just comes out how it comes out. You normally, the common denominator is you normally know at least what you don't want it to sound like, and then anything else is up for grabs, and I think that's what it is. But my yardstick is a kind of hopefully a well-written song that's slightly classic rock, but whatever that is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's my idea on that, but with a contemporary lyric and some pretty good playing. I mean, I've got some great people playing on it. L Slick's on a lot of the album. I've got Norman Watright plays bass on a lot of it. I've got a guy called James Hallowell who plays with the Waterboys now on keyboards. He does a mean sort of Booker T impression. There's a track that's even got Hot Eye, a Japanese guy who wrote the Kill Bill theme tune. He's like the Jeff Beck of Japan is on a track. Neil X from Neil Whitmore from for God's sake. People know I'm doing interviews and they're calling up at the same time. Go away. See, look, I'm in demand. I'm in demand from the Indian call centre.
At least it's not PPI related anymore.
I don't know. The thing is with my phone, I don't bother answering because the battery's gone on the handset. And as soon as I pick it up, it goes dead. So that it might as well just let it go dead anyway. Yeah. That's on my landline phone. Where are we? Yeah. Anyway, so it's something for everybody if you like that kind of thing, maybe. But there's some toe-tapping top tunes, And with a good lyric, hopefully, about where I'm at in the funny thing that is Brexit. Après Brexit Britain.
Yeah. Well, I call that a swear word now.
I called it a swear word back. I call it a nonsense. The whole thing is a nonsense. How anybody got mugged into it. You know what? I always used to think the British and the English in particular could spot things a mile off. But now we seem to have lost the ability of picking out a wrong un, and we're kind of ruled or represented by wrong uns, all of them. And it's trite. It's got to change. I feel a little bit more up this year because I think there's chinks in their facade. But I think any way we can take them to task or keep sniping at their ankles is what we should do, and that's what I'm trying to do with the songs on this album.
Yeah, good. And you yourself have been pretty busy even in recent times because you've been stepping in to work alongside Blondie recently on their tour. How's that been?
Well, I've not been working alongside it. I've been working within it. I'm sort of the last man in the band as the bass player, which was great. I really enjoyed doing it. I was pleased, honoured and chuffed that Clember called me up when they was stuck. I don't know what happened with the other bass player, Lee, who I was friendly with and was a very good bass player, but sadly he's not doing it. Clem asked me to do it. I've worked with Clem on many different projects, some great, some a bit airbrained over the years. I've known him since probably 1978, 79, when he came to see the Vicious White Kids with the rest of Blondie for a one-off gig I did with Sid Vicious. So I've known him on and off. We've been mates. We've played together. It's kind of like falling off a log playing with him. And I've known Debbie and Chris a little bit for a long time. They're a great bunch of people. They've got a great body of work. They're a class act. And I enjoy doing it. And we've actually got more stuff coming up this spring as well. I'm going to... we've got some gigs in Central America, Mexico and Lima and Bogota and then stuff in California. So it's a bit of a juggling act to kind of get my thing out at the right time and do that as well. But there you go. There's never that much on the telly. And when my favourite football team, Queen's Park Rangers, are on the telly, they normally lose. So I might as well go and do a gig. Yeah.
Very true, very true. Now, we can't have a chat without having to bring up the Sex Pistols. One question, I know, sorry. But hopefully it's a different question from what you usually get. I just like to know, when you started the band with the other guys back at the time, did you have an inkling of as to where you would be all these years later, or?
Back then, I never thought past the end of the week, and I still kind of don't. I'm fortunate the phone goes every now and then with something like the Blondie thing. And I do what I do because I see myself as a songwriter in the mould of Weller and as a mate of mine and Ray Davis and people like that. That's what I aspire to do, and I make records and put them out. How well they do is a bit up and down. I feel quite good about this one. Yeah, so just see what happens, really. But you know what, even back then, when we got the Pistols together, thought we might as well give it a go because there was never that much on the telly. Yeah. Yeah. But what I have been blessed with, and I'm proud of, and fortuitously benefited from, is that being this semi-successful musician who's kind of got by doing things that are predominantly more on the left field of things. I've got to travel the world, and when you get somewhere and you're doing a gig, you're not a tourist. You're part of what's going on normally with the hipper people, because they're the ones putting on the gig and they know the score, and it's a great way to see how the other half lives, and then what you do find is that around the world, most of the people are pretty much the same. They want to get food on the table, they want to look after their families and be able to let off steam without too much less a hindrance. And only by travelling do you realise that. I think one of the things that if I ruled the world, everybody should be made to do like a sabbatical and just have a look-see. You know, I think problems come when people have blinkered attitudes. So
yeah.
I had a big rut with my neighbour he was quite a good stonemason. He was doing some work for me, and then we ended up on Brexit, and he voted for Brexit, which was totally shot the music industry in the foot. You know, both actually and metaphorically. You know, we can't go and do it right one. I said, well, what do you think when you go abroad? He went, oh, I've never been abroad. It's like, how on earth can you vote for something as important as that without knowing? Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, I don't want to go on about that, but yes, as you say, it's a swear word. It's a total connection on the skin of the nation, I think.
Yeah, not good. But,
anyway, you know, a lot of the songs on the album are to do with that. They're not all miserable po-faced things, but I do like to try and... my favourite character in Shakespeare was Falstaff, who could make a joke but tell the truth to the king. And that's the way I like to try and write a song, you know.
Good. Yeah, good. And just last question on Sex Pistols. There's been a couple of reunions in the past. Do you think one might happen again, or do you think you're in a different phase of life at the moment?
Don't hold your breath, you'll suffocate.
Good answer.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a curveball here, because I'm actually good friends with your sons, Sam and Louis.
Oh, cool.
How much of an impact have you had on their music careers, and do they ring you up ever so often and ask for advice?
Well, I don't know how much of it. Well, they're musicians. You know, most people who do some kind of job, their kids end up doing something similar. So that's their set of references. I like to think that I've instilled in them a workmanlike attitude. I'm proud of how hard they work, Sam and Louis. I'm always there if they want to call me up. But, you know, the young men have got the world to see. And if they do a smaller gig in town, you know, Sam plays with Louis every now and then to help him out getting his thing going. I'm generally the roadie. I use my amps. I drive them there, drop them off. They say, oh, it's all they make, so let me stand in the corner by myself. Kind of like just normal dads, really, you know.
Yeah. The old man in the corner.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Little do they know that they might be right. But there you go.
Good.
It's a funny old life. Yeah.
Indeed. Well, Glenn, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
All right, thanks for having us on, and there you go. So
pleasure.
Give the record a spin, and if you like it,